Hey everyone, it's Gunter here, and welcome to day 2 of my journey into building a no-code product. So you may have noticed that probably a week has gone by since I published the day 1 wrap-up, and that's obviously only because I'm working on this part-time, so it would be great if I could, commit solid days to it, but unfortunately I can't. So I'm trying to chunk it up after having done about 8 hours of work, and then using that as a bit of a playback. So let's take a look at what I did on day two. Right, so let's get into that. Right, so here we go. Day 2, I decided on a no-code tool. I guess in terms of putting this whole product together, there's going to be more than one tool. I decided to use Notion. I've seen other people use it successfully to do similar things. I've been using it for some other projects and I've been really impressed with it. I think sort of heading into this project, I kind of knew all along that I might be using Notion, but I did have a bit of a think about it and, before deciding, play around a little bit. But yeah, so I've decided on a tool. Notion is going to be, and I've been discovering some awesome things with the tool. It's really fantastic. It's powerful, it's flexible, it's great. So yeah, you're going to see some of that a little bit later in the video. So do stay tuned for that. Next, I went ahead and set up an Notion workspace, which was not difficult to do at all. It was probably about 45 seconds, but it is something that I did set up specifically for this project. I then started designing the content structure. So I knew what the sort of end product was I was designing, my Change Management Toolkit. So I've given some thoughts to how that content might look and how it's going to be structured. And I'll take you through that a little bit. You'll see the actual bit that's been built in Notion already. I then started creating the content. And of course, this is where the big time investment is. So it's kind of where I am at the moment. And I expect it to be one of the tasks that'll keep me busy for the coming days as I continue to build this product. Next, I did some stuff on cosmetics, and this is cosmetics of the product. And I know that this is the sort of thing that should be left till last. What I did want to do, though, was bring it to life a little bit. I think just to help me visualize what the end product would look like. And also because I ultimately want to be using some screenshots, perhaps to put them on the landing page and for some promotion on Twitter, for example, and perhaps some other social media channels. So I did spend a bit of time with cosmetics. Again, discovered some great tools. So I'll take you through that a little bit. I revisited the landing page. I wasn't quite happy with the first one I had done. It was a little bit clunky. I couldn't get it to look as clean as I wanted it to look. So I did revisit this. I spent a bit of time redoing it using another product, and I'll talk a little bit about that now. I went ahead and registered a domain to host the landing page and then ultimately to host the product page. So I'm going to show you that in the later part of the video. And then, of course, I've been tracking my time. So I've been quite strict about trying to do this, just so I know, as I said in the video before, how much time I am spending on building this product. So then what were the lessons I learned in day 2? Well, I think it was funny in the last one, I said, stick to the tools you know. My lesson here was persist with learning new tools. So I had initially used Card, that's CARDD.co, to build the landing page. Got a bit frustrated with that, sort of went back to WordPress that I knew better, but it wasn't giving me the results I wanted. So I went back to Card, I persisted with it a little, and I conquered it. And I think the landing page looks a lot better now. It's a lot quicker. I've tried it with Google Site Speed. Yeah, it's a much better outcome, I think. Don't be afraid to spend money to get quality results. And I've said a small amount of money here. So again, when we start looking at the cosmetics of the product, I thought about, using images, and I did kind of want to build a bit of a brand rather than just kind of using random images of like Pixabay or something like that, or Unsplash. So I did spend a little bit of money there. It wasn't a lot. I'll obviously talk through that as well. And be adventurous with your tools. So yeah, absolutely, this is more about Notion and what I'm learning about Notion as I go. So, don't be afraid to try new things. You know, it's easy to do something quickly, and if you don't like it, you can just undo it or delete it or try again. So yeah, those were the key takeaways from day 2. So after day 2, what does it look like? You know, what does it look like what we've got? So I'm going to take you through that now. Let's look at the landing page first, and you can see the domain here. I've called it changemanager.tools. Thought I'd have a go at a slightly new top-level domain, so I registered that. That's all up and running, and you can see the speed at which the landing page loads. So here we have it. We've got the new graphic that I got done on Fiverr for a Fiverr. Well, that's $5, so it was slightly less in pounds. And my sign up here, this is the same as the previous one. It links to MailChimp in the back end and populates my mailing list. And I've just added a little bit of content and a little bit of a blurb about the product. Added my social media links at the bottom, and this is all up and running now. It's also got Google Analytics hooked into it, so I can track the activity on the web. So that's all good to go. That's built with Card, as I said, and that's all looking good. So, right, let's go and take a look at how the product looks at the moment. So I'm going to pop into Notion. And as you can see, I've set up a workspace over here, and I started fairly simplistically by building out a table. I've listed out all of the templates or the sort of focus areas, the description of those, and you can see some additional attributes. Obviously, I've put a bit of content in here. There's not much here. This all needs doing. But you can see I've essentially built out a toolkit for change managers, which has around 60 plus templates or approaches. So this is where I've spent most of the time putting this all together. You can see I've grouped this into a number of disciplines: our organizational state, communications, stakeholder management, learning and development, and organizational strategy. So this is the entirety of the toolkit. And I did speak about cosmetics. I'm going to show you how that looks now. If we switch over to our gallery view, you can see it really comes to life. So each discipline has color-coded images that relate to the tags that you saw on the previous screen. And you can see this looks, in my opinion, pretty slick. I think it'll be quite nice to consume and work through. Obviously, the value is in the content, which I'm still working on. But let me give you an idea of how that looks. So I'm going to go into the first one here, our organizational change readiness assessment. Let's go full page. And as you can see, we've got all of the detail that we need to be able to use this template when we're live on a project. I've built some stuff in here that the customers who buy this toolkit can actually use Notion to complete this. So again, you know, your document version control, your approval, and then I put together a bit of a guide on how to use this template. In addition, I've been toying with the idea of including a Office template, and I've done that. So you can see I've also built a PowerPoint template. Let's open that up and see how that looks. Right, that's all downloaded. And there you go. I'm not going to go full screen. I'll just do this. I'll take you through that briefly. And essentially, it's the same content that I had in Notion. I've just built that into a PowerPoint slide. So this will give people who buy the toolkit the ability to then, you know, incorporate these into their projects. And yeah, they can use Notion or they can use Microsoft Office to get their stuff done. So that is a quick test drive of the toolkit as it now stands. The last thing I want to show you is my time tracking. So I have been looking at another tool called ClickUp, and to be fair, I did consider this as an option. I've been looking at ClickUp and Notion for quite a while now. I've settled on Notion to build the actual product, but I am using ClickUp for other things. So briefly what I've done here is I've set up a very basic Kanban board. So you can see I've still got a few tasks to do in terms of building out that product content, promoting the landing page. I've got a number of tasks in progress, and I've got a number of tasks that I've completed already. Yeah, importantly is if I pick up, for instance, create template content, I can see here that I've tracked it's taken me 2 hours and 8 minutes to complete that. I've worked on it, I think a few more times here. Well, you can see 2 of the main ones. once for an hour 17, once for 35 minutes. And that's just the way I've been tracking things. When I'm ready to start working on it, I can track it again here by starting the timer. Really great tool in ClickUp. And of course, I've built a bit of a dashboard where I can start analyzing my time, but that's not important for now. So yeah, that is day 2. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I look forward to sharing the outputs of day 3 with you.